Hello, I'm Kim Q of TLC's Compound Crew here for part two of this super important discussion about how to choose the correct sponsor in MLM direct sales. So we're going to go ahead and if you missed part one, please go watch that first. But we're going to go ahead and jump in where we left off. Now, this is the meat and potatoes of this discussion. You want to pay attention to what people say and post. Super important. Listen, people will tell you who they are, but you won't hear them if you're not listening. Okay? So I know with me, sometimes maybe, yes, I overanalyze things, but I think that subconsciously what people say, the words that they choose, say a lot more than they probably initially think they're saying. So when I look at someone's wall, here's what I mean. I don't like people to be lazy in language, okay? I like for people to deliberately choose their words. So if someone is always talking about, I recruited 5 people this week, I recruited this many people, I don't like the word recruit when it comes to network marketing. When I think of recruit, I think of a revolving door of people you're just trying to collect a fast start or sign-on bonus or something like that. I like for people to talk about how many people they sponsored. The word sponsor inherently is indicative of a responsibility to ensure that that person is plugged into the system, is meeting their goals. It's not like you can, take on the responsibility of whether or not they win or lose, but you do take on the responsibility of ensuring that they have the proper tools and knowledge to do what it is they set out to do in this industry. So I always look at the language that people choose to use on their walls. Okay, now you also want to look at MLM maturity. Okay, and you need to be mature in this. I hear some people say, hey, I'm going to join this person because they told me about the business first. Okay, now if you're choosing to join with someone and do a favor for them, like your sister, and they're like, hey, I need my first 2 people, and you're like, oh girl, just put me in, then fine. But if you truly want to build a business, then the whole first come, first served philosophy doesn't apply here, okay? You're not a buffet line, okay? You are a person trying to build a business, okay? So don't have that mentality of they told me about it first. Who cares? Likewise, you want to look at the other person's maturity. You want to be mature and you want to make sure they're mature. So if you hear someone touting, I have X amount of years, 10, 20 years in the industry of MLM, if that's their biggest accomplishment, then red flag. In this industry, because it's not corporate or college and you don't get tenure based on how long you've done something, none of that matters. The number of years you've been in doesn't mean a doggone thing. What's most important is your progression, your growth from company to company throughout the years. But if you are in year 10 and you're doing the same thing you did in year 1 in your very first company, you're coming home, you're watching TV, you're playing Facebook games and just posting on your Facebook wall, just throwing posts up there saying, hey, who wants to be a millionaire? Like you're a game show host instead of a network marketing professional, then that's a huge problem. So pay attention to that. Has the person grown throughout the years? Now, you also want to look at, speaking of number of companies, how many companies do they market? Again, notice the subtle differences. I'm not talking about how many companies are they in. I'm talking about how many companies do they actively market. There are a lot of top leaders out there who have more than one business and they may be involved in more than one company, but they don't market more than one company. Why? Because they don't want to subconsciously send a message to you that they're scatterbrained or all over the place. Now, can you be in more than one company? I think you can if the business structure is different. So, for example, if you are a part of Gold, which is a primarily offline company, okay, they do a lot of hotel meetings, home parties, and belly to belly sales. Okay, if you're in Gold, and then you decide you also want to be a part of MLSP, which is an online business model which teaches you how to use blogs to drive traffic to another business, and the business can be anything, it can be traditional or MLM, then I think that's perfectly fine because in this instance, Gold and MLSP, they work together and they don't compete with each other. You can actually use the MLSP business model to generate traffic and drive leads and convert customers into regular customers and potentially business partners for your organo gold business. So in this instance, yes, they're both MLM companies, but they're different in the way the business structure is. Okay. However, if you want two offline customers, if you want two offline companies, I think that's where you kind of sort of like playing with fire. If you want to do like say organo gold, and you also want to do, I don't know, the candle business, whatever that's called, well, those two both have the whole home party, hotel meeting type model. And because you're only one person, you can't be in two places at the same time. So, and neither can your sponsor. Okay. So if you choose to partner with a sponsor who does that and they say, oh, well, yeah, I'm in these two companies, but the products aren't the same, so they don't compete. Yeah, maybe the companies don't compete as far as a product line, but the companies do compete with your time. And if you choose a sponsor who does that, then don't get mad when they don't show up at your home party or they're not available to do a three-way call for you, because that's what you signed up with. Okay, so you really really want to pay attention to that, and don't fall for the old, well, yeah, I do this because I'm into multiple streams of income. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. That's fine, but there's a huge difference between multiple streams of income and multiple streams of frustration. Okay, so be wise enough to know the type of person that you are dealing with, and don't you please don't you I've done this before. So I'm not speaking about something I don't know. I have done this before. It was a mistake in the sense that although I had an offline and an online company, it was confusing to my audience. They were like, well, what's this or what's that? And guys, a confused mind does nothing. If you confuse the people that are watching you, then they'll just sit there and watch you, but they'll never like join arms with you because they don't know if you're going to be like here today and gone tomorrow. And if they truly don't understand what's going on, then it's just like, oh, forget it. They're going to go look for someone who seems laser focused and that can help them focus on one thing, because ultimately that's all they care about, one thing, building their dream. So pay attention to that. Don't come off scatterbrained. If you're trying to attract people, and don't join someone who you think is all over the place either. Now, you also, this is very, very important to me, personality and organization culture. Okay, in case you haven't been able to tell, I'm a somewhat quirky person. I often in my videos will say funny things. People always tell me, "Oh, you're so funny. You're so funny." And yeah, that's my little shtick. That's my comfort zone, making people laugh. Okay, um, and I've come to find out that when I'm looking for a leader, it's not that someone has to be exactly like me and they have to be funny too, but I need to know that I speak their language and I vibe with them on a certain level. So for me, it's not enough for you to just be a good leader in the sense that you know all the facts and the figures and the numbers and the da 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 da. Okay, great. But I need to know that we have a certain synergy, a certain energy that is that will work best for us to collaborate, basically. And the similarities, they've got to supersede just gender and skin color. So I've heard people say, well, I'm a female, and she's a female in the company, so I locked arms with her. I'm all about girl power. Come on, this is not high school. Just because you're a female, that's not enough for me. Just because, whatever, it doesn't matter. I have got to look at the overall picture, okay, and see that I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me, as well as the organization culture. Like I said, I've been in companies before where there was someone who was in the hunt, in the field, and they're running, but there was a part of them that wasn't running. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. There was a part of them that was just a little bit jaded because they weren't a part of a certain leader's group, and they wanted to be like, dang, he's over there doing all these competitions for his group and awarding prizes for his group, and they have the wear white party over there, and my group just, my leader doesn't do anything. I wish I had joined his group. And it's a sad thing when that happens, when you don't know what you don't know. But if possible, before you lock arms with someone, take that into consideration. pay attention to the culture of the organization, not just of your direct sponsor, but the sponsors above them. Is it the right tribe, so to speak, for you? And I know for me, I've really, really got to be comfortable with that sponsor. They've got to have the vibe that I will feel comfortable bringing my people to them. And if it's a three-way call, I don't think that they'll stick their foot in their mouth during a three-way call or anything like that. So, and this is, again, these are things that people come to me. I've heard some stories that will blow your doors off about what some sponsors have said and done in these situations. So that's why I'm bringing them up to you. But I know for me, when I'm dealing with anybody, whether it be a prospect, a customer, whoever, I always want to go into an interaction or a communication with someone. And my whole goal is not necessarily to sell them on the product or to sell them on being my business partner. My whole goal is to get a cold person, someone who didn't know me a few minutes ago, to say to me, you know what? I feel like I've known you for years. Guys, that is music to my ears, because when someone says that, it lets me know that I'm doing something right. It lets me know that they're comfortable with me. And when someone is comfortable with me, it makes me twice as comfortable with them. And then when both of our walls are down, our communication is a lot more open. It's a lot more honest. It's a lot more just everything good. Everything all nice and made of sugar and spice, right? And so that is the area, that's the sweet spot, when I'm able to really determine if, we're just going to be friends. I just have like a new buddy, a new, person that, maybe later on down the line it develops into a business relationship, or if in this point in time we're going to be friends and talk about business, either from a customer or a consultant standpoint. So I look for a sponsor who also has that type of personality, very open and, just into people, someone who's more into people than the paycheck. That's just what I look for. Okay, that's a super big deal for me. I don't want a sponsor who's like, oh, well, if you're not joining me, then conversation over. you know, talk to me later when you come to your senses. I don't look for that. That's not my thing. And if that is your thing, that's perfectly fine. But I'm just telling you right now that if you get someone like that, and don't confuse what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with being about your business. I'm just saying I look for someone, like I said, who's more into people over a paycheck. Okay? So, next we want to talk about activity. This is a big deal to me too. Is the person walking the walk or just talking the talk? Okay? Now, this goes back to social media for me. It's a really big, there's so many clues on social media, okay? Is the person putting on their wall all the time just, like information, hey, jump on this call? Or are they hosting their own calls? Are they announcing the call, the person who will be doing the call? Are they doing anything like that? Are they telling you, hey, here's where the meeting is? Or are there pictures of them at the meeting? Are there pictures of them with the speaker in the front of the room? Are they announcing anybody at the meeting? Are they doing anything that shows that they are in activity mode in the hunt? Are there any comments or posts on the Facebook wall from customers saying, hey, I got my package, I'm so excited to start it, or hey, I lost this much weight, or hey, this tastes great, I really love this, my mom wants to know about it too, I'll be shooting you a message? Is there any buzz? Is there anything to make you go, what you doing over there? You know what I'm saying? Are there colleagues congratulate, hey man, job well done at the meeting, or saw you at the convention, congratulations on your award? Is there anything going on? Pay attention to that. It's a major clue. And it's there, right? It's usually right there for you. Are they doing webinars for their team? Are they making videos? Are they expanding their comfort zone? Because if they expand their comfort zone, they're going to help you to expand yours. And that's where the money is. That's where everything you want is. It's always beyond your comfort zone. So look for someone who is pushing themselves and can therefore push you. And last but not least, are they congruent on all social media platforms? I've literally heard people say, hey, here's my LinkedIn and my Facebook, but don't join me on Instagram because that's off the chain there. Well, yeah, I want to know that your message is consistent on all platforms. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up with that. I hope this helped. If it did, give me that thumbs up, like, comment, share. Join me on Periscope at KimQ10K, and also look at my archives at KimQTV.com. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Good night.